Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com. On today's episode, we speak to a woman named Christine from Colorado. Christine was messaged by a man who claimed his name was Chris Pillar on Twitter. The two hit it off and started a one-year relationship filled with lies and deception. Christine will open up about how she was scammed out of thousands of dollars by fake babysitters. Real quick, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
My name is Christine. I live in Colorado. I'm 56. I'm divorced since 2005, and I have 3 grown children. I am originally from Connecticut. I moved to Colorado in 2015 after I became disabled with fibromyalgia. Okay, his name is Chris Pillar. I met him on Twitter. He followed me on Twitter. A lot of people follow me on Twitter. We started talking on there. Oh, he's very handsome, of course. He's got brown hair, brown eyes. He worked out all the time, so he would send me a lot of pictures of him working out. Very muscular, very strong. He's a very handsome guy. Said he was a Marine medic in Syria. He sent me a whole bunch of pictures of himself and his son and him singing. He would talk to me every day. He would tell me I'm beautiful. I was his soulmate. He would always every day write me nice messages, poems. So we talked for a long time. And then he said, he was very attracted to me, wanted to marry me as soon as he got out of the military. We would meet in California where he lived. And we would talk about maybe him retiring from the military and doing something else at that point. But we would talk on Twitter a lot until he said he had to delete it because too many women were DMing him because he's so handsome. So he said he deleted his Twitter so he could just talk to me on Hangouts, Google Chat. Most of the men I've been with, because I was married twice, and then I was engaged 7 times after that. Most of the men I've been with were either alcoholics or abusive men or narcissists. A lot of the guys I dated were very mean to me. Chris was like, I would never hurt you. I'll always protect you. I would never be mean to you or say anything nasty to you. All kinds of things to make me feel like he would treat me like a queen. Basically, that's what he told me. He would treat me like a queen. The first time Chris asked me for money was because he said he couldn't pay his babysitter and his babysitter was going to quit. So he begged me. He said, please pay the babysitter some money because she said she's going to quit because I can't pay her. And I really don't want to get a new babysitter because she's attached to his son, Derek. She was using his debit card, but she kept putting in the wrong code. So his debit card was disabled and he had no money to pay his babysitter. So he kept saying, I really need your help. My babysitter's going to quit unless you can help me send her money. I talked to him early on once on the phone. He said, well, he didn't have a good connection in Syria, but he would try to call me. I recall his voice was very, very deep. And I had said to him, your voice sounds different. And he said, well, how do you know what my voice sounds like? And I said, well, you sent me a video of you singing Jolene. So I know what your voice sounds like because I still have the video.
Sold my coat when I hit Spokane. I bought myself a hard pack of cigarettes in the early morning rain.
I talked to his babysitter, Laura, the first babysitter, and she kept saying, he loves you. She kept giving me advice. You just need to send him money. You need to stroke his ego. Just send him money and, he'll be nice to you. She was always like, you're definitely getting married. He loves you. You just have to send him money. Then it was like, oh, the babysitter needs a computer for her daughter. Well, I'll buy the computer and mail it to your address because he sent me his address. No, no, she wants to hand the computer to her daughter. I said, well, I can mail it to the babysitter and she can wrap it and hand it to her daughter. I would always come up with options of me doing things, but he always said no. I said, well, why don't I just go to California and meet the babysitter and meet your son in person, and then I can help because I'll meet them and know they're real. And he would say, oh, no, would you ever let me meet your son? I said, well, if he was supervised by an adult, and yeah, I've been talking to you for a while, I would let you meet my son as long as he was supervised. But any idea I had was always a no. Over time, he just became more demanding and demanding about, I need money for this. You're never there to help me. My babysitter's going to quit. It's all your fault. He started blaming everything on me. You're not paying for the babysitter, so now she's got to quit. I have to hire a new one. Can you send money to the new babysitter? He's very mean to me at this point. He says it's my fault that two of his babysitters had to quit because I wouldn't pay for them. So he's blaming his problems at this point on me. He's got all my information. I think he has my license, my social security number. He's got a lot of my information from a long time ago. He hasn't hacked me or done anything with it. Every time Chris asked me for money, he would say, download Cash App. So he would send me hashtags and say, this is the hashtag to use to send money to my babysitter. A lot of them have pictures of the people. When he said I was sending them to the different babysitters, they would have pictures on the hashtags so I could see their names and what they looked like. I have an image finder. I tried to look, is he fake? I showed his picture to other guys in the military. They're like, no, he's got the right uniform, the right gun.
After Christine sent Chris thousands of dollars through Cash App transactions, she was starting to have doubts about him really being who he claimed to be. Christine was starting to feel that she would never meet this man in person, so she started to investigate on her own.
So Chris sent me a picture of his private parts, and it's the only picture I didn't think to try to put through my image search to see if it was fake. So I did a couple months ago, and I found it was fake, and he blamed it on me. I found it on my image search. It was stolen from a website. They have all these websites. I am still in contact with Chris, even though I don't have Google Chat, but he still will email me asking me for money. But now he's very mean about it. He doesn't answer. I'll call him once in a while just to bother him. I'll say it's an emergency. I need to really talk to you. If you want money, you have to talk to me first. I'll say things like that. I'll say you have to talk to me if you want money. And he'll say, I'm not going to talk to you. Send me the money first. It's a battle. It's just a fight. It's a fight every day about money. It's send me money, then I'll talk to you. I reached out to Social Catfish because I've figured out all the other people who have tried to scam me because I can find them in the image finder. I cannot figure out who Chris Pillar really is.
Christine was able to find some answers on her own, but we collected all the information she had and dug a little deeper. We started to look all over the internet to give her closure, and we're confident in our research. If you're looking to find the identity of your online lover, you can start with the tools on our site, socialcatfish.com. You can click this YouTube card or click the link in our bio. Just hitting like, comment, and subscribe helps us build more tools out for you to use in the future. It was time to meet with Christine for the first time.
Hey Christine, we're excited to have you today so we can give you some closure and some clarity on the situation that you were dealing with the person you met on Twitter. So we found some interesting pieces of information that we think will be useful to you, and we'd like to kind of give you the basics on what we found.
Okay.
Chris was posing as someone in the military. Now, this is a very common thing that we see because it allows them to have a lot of excuses for why they can't meet in person, for why they need you to send them money, and they can come up with all these crazy disaster stories to get you emotionally invested in the situation. So right off the bat, that is a massive red flag when you see a lot of things not lining up in their stories, when you see inconsistencies, and coupled with the fact that they're in the military. It's a big thing to kind of keep in mind while going through this information.
Okay.
So you were sending money to women that you thought were babysitters, essentially, right?
Yes.
We kind of looked into all of these babysitters, and we found that all of these women are essentially money laundering. You were sending money to that Cash App or several different Cash Apps, and then they'll receive the money, and then from there, they'll basically wash the money through gift cards or Bitcoin, and then they'll send the money over to the scammer.
Chris had his first babysitter who I actually talked to on the phone, and she said they were in California. I never had a picture of her. And she was on WhatsApp also, and she was always telling me, "Oh, Chris loves you so much. I can't wait to go to your wedding. You just need to help him out, boost his ego, send him some money for his kid."
A lot of the times, the people who are doing the money laundering have no idea that they're doing it. They're actually in a similar situation as you are. They're talking to this person online. The person asks them for a favor. They say, "Come on, baby, you know I love you. We're going to get married as soon as you do this favor for me. I just need this money." And then they end up committing felonies without even really knowing what they're getting themselves into. So sometimes it's just people who are unaware and they're being taken advantage of as well. Other times, it's people put in place by this international criminal organization to help them clean their money after scamming all of these victims. So it seems like it was the former in this occasion. It was people who seemed to not understand what they were doing or getting themselves into.
So the next thing that we want to get into is the tracker. So we worked together to get this tracker over to Chris so we can figure out where he is and what his location was. And we got 7 clicks.
Okay.
One of the clicks was from us in California, and then the other clicks are from Lagos. All 7 of the clicks were from Lagos, and they were from a desktop and also from a phone.
I'm not surprised he's from Lagos because most of the people that I've met that have said they're somebody else have ended up being from Lagos, Nigeria.
The tracker brings us to the next point, which is Chris's true identity. So the real man in the photo is named Ryan, and he's an American actor. It seems like he's scrubbed a lot of his digital footprint. We can't find a ton about him on the internet, and that goes into the scammers' tactics. So some of the really sophisticated scammers will look for people who aren't very well known on the internet because they're harder to find as opposed to someone who has hundreds of videos. So we were able to verify that Chris is not who he says he is, and the real person's name is Ryan, and he's an actor.
Every picture he sent me, I put through my reverse image search, so I could not find him as fake. Most people I can find in my image search, but none of his pictures I could find until he sent me his private parts, and I found that as fake.
So Christine, you and Chris were in almost a year-long relationship online, correct?
Yes.
So how are you feeling at this point in the investigation now that you kind of got some of the details about Chris's true identity and about where he's actually located in the world? How are you feeling?
I mean, I'm actually happy because everybody else I have been able to figure out, they've admitted they're from Lagos, Nigeria. They go on all apps, but I'm just glad I know he's from Nigeria because that was always my thought.
It's a very common place. We see a lot of these scams tying back to this area. Unfortunately, it has to do with the culture of some of these areas since they don't have a lot of opportunity like we enjoy in the States, they resort to these online scamming tactics. We see different types of scams coming from different regions in the world. We also see the Philippines. We see different types of scams coming out of Russia and China. This, unfortunately, is a very, very common occurrence in our time today.
Yes. Since the last, I'd say 4 months, I've realized all the people that were not video chatting with me or had fake video chats, they ended up all being from Lagos, Nigeria.
You know, after knowing all the red flags, or, you know, before you even met Chris, right? What made you feel comfortable with sending any money at all to Chris Pillar?
The reason was, first of all, he's the first person who ever asked me to download Hangouts or Google Chat, and I didn't know that everybody on there is not who they say they are. So he was the first person that asked me to download it. And because I could not find out who he really was, I kept searching for his pictures. But over time, as he changed babysitters and came up with excuses and, you know, would always fight with me if I wouldn't send him money, then I realized he just wants my money. It's all about him. It's not about me. It's just he's trying to get money.
So where do you go from here, Christine? How do you feel about continuing online dating?
No, I do not have any dating apps on my phone anymore. No, I will not date online.
One of the things that we go over on a lot of our platforms, like we have Instagram Lives and we publish a lot of content to get people educated on these sorts of scams. And one of the things that most people are really surprised to learn is that in these scam organizations, they actually have a book teaching people how to do these scams. So it talks about how to approach people, talks about the lines to approach victims with, and it goes step by step on exactly how to get money out of the victims. So they really do know what they're doing, and this same script has been used on countless amounts of people, and you know, it happens a lot, unfortunately. So yeah. We really appreciate your bravery coming forward. You're really going to help a lot of people who are talking to someone online and they don't know whether or not they can trust them. So thank you so much for doing your own research and for letting us help you out and give you the closure that you were looking for.
And I appreciate you figuring out who he really was and, you know, proving that he was actually from Nigeria, just like I suspected.
Thanks for watching another episode of Scamfish presented by SocialCatfish.com. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.
Scams come in so many different forms. If you have been a victim of any of the scams below, please email us at sharemystory@socialcatfish.com. We'll get to the bottom of it with help from our Social Catfish team. By sharing your story with our YouTube audience, we can educate, spread awareness, and maybe someday we can put an end to these scams.